your process of choosing a bike?
My personal process?
Yes.
All right, so depending on the criteria, so for this week, we kind of focused in more on growth and consistency. And I personally focus in on students that tend to go under the radar, who they might not feel like we're seeing them, but we are. And so I really focused in on those kind of the quieter students, my quieter kids who just grind, they're quiet, but they just do their job. And I honed in on one of my students this week, yeah.
And how do you motivate your students to want to be like you? I know there's prizes and there's like
Yeah.
a party at the end of
Yeah.
the week, but how do you motivate them when they're in your classroom?
So, it's funny, like they see the candies and all that, they see like the adoration that they receive, they see their name on there now, we started doing that last week. I think that naturally does it for them a little bit. They see the celebration, they see how excited their fellow students are, their classmates, their peers. And then they'll naturally just kind of come up to me and be like, are you gonna give it to me this week? And so a lot of times, honestly, I don't even have to do it. They kind of do it themselves.
Right, and I saw that in the hallway, one of the students that told us, like, I'm gonna get chosen
Oh, yeah.
this week. So
Oh, yeah.
you guys can see a lot of that, and that motivates your,
Oh, yeah.
students. And how does it make you feel personally? This is so amazing here, and really shining light on students who may not receive that anyone else. How does that make you feel?
Teaching is a tough gig. It's very stressful, it's very draining. And I think just doing this weekly kind of puts it into perspective why we're doing what we're doing. It removes the fact that this is not just a job, but there is a purpose. Us doing this little award is for a person that is going to be a future leader in our community. So it just makes it that much more real than what we're doing.
And talk about the challenges your students may have faced with the new NES system and how you just keep encouraging them.
I think probably a combination of just challenges. One, it's brand new for everyone. So you're looking at, even though teachers, this is my 11th year, you have teachers that have been doing this for 15, 20 plus years. This model is brand new to all of us. So I think that in and of itself kind of poses that challenge. I think the district is doing everything that they can. Our administration at Fleming Middle School is doing everything they can to kind of set us all up. And I think they have. And obviously for our students, it is rigorous. Some of our kiddos come in maybe a few grade levels behind, and they're tasked with doing assignments that are at grade level. So just kind of that in and of itself is a challenge. But obviously, this is what we signed up for. This is what we want to do as teachers, and we're going to get them up to level.
Yeah. And do you think that the celebration of Viking of the Week is helping them actually want to try this new system and learn more and do better?
Yeah, these are sixth graders, right? And even adults, right? We are intrinsically motivated by something other than just doing it, right? They work hard. We do a lot of different things in the classroom, but I think just doing a public celebration adds that little bit of joy into the daily week, breaks up that little mundaneness a little bit, and they kind of get to feel like that we do see them, that we do value.
So you guys done a couple of these Viking of the Weeks now, because you're halfway through the school year. Do you have like a personal story or a personal favorite Viking of the Week that you can tell us about?
Yeah, no names, but I had a student who we just weren't seeing eye to eye. I can be pretty tough in my classroom, and it was really fun seeing it. I didn't give her the award, but it was really cool seeing her talk to Dean Allen. She gives the principal of our grade level. I saw them having a whole conversation of what she can do to earn it, and her behavior just completely shifted in the classrooms. She was working really, really hard, and this was about 3 weeks ago. So now you're looking at her doing a whole week worth of just handling herself, doing her job, coming on time, being consistent. Earning that award kind of gave her that focal point, that focus that I can do it. And I've seen just 3-4 weeks of this student just completely change. So we do see like just that one little tiny award can give them that sense of confidence.
Mm-hmm. So you said that this is your first year here. Is this model different from your normal style of teaching? Or were you
Yes and no. I think I've been lucky that I've taught at a lot of different districts, private schools, et cetera, et cetera. So I've kind of seen a little bit of everything. I think what the model is trying to do is provide kind of like a baseline of materials and resources so that teachers don't feel overwhelmed, because it is a very taxing job. And then nonetheless, one of the things that the district has done is that they've provided us materials, and if it's not perfect, they allow us to make the necessary changes as the experts that we are in the classroom. So you do have your ability to kind of put yourself into the lesson and teach it how you want to a little bit. So I do appreciate that that's there.
You say you taught at a private school.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from a private school to a school, an NES school, can you talk about that, the difference?
Yeah, I've taught at a lot of different schools where, you know, all different levels, students come in at all different levels, all different income levels. But one thing I've learned in my 11 years is that middle schoolers are all naturally just middle schoolers. If we hold them all to the high standards and provide them what they need, they're all really the same. The behaviors are the same, the challenges tend to be the same. It's just that our kiddos tend to have a little bit more trauma than your average student.
And has your teaching style had to change or adjust a bit coming here? Yep. Can you explain that?
I make sure that I am myself in any classroom that I'm at. Like I try to be myself, and I think if you're natural and you are real with your students, they will know that. One thing about middle schoolers is they will know if you're being real or not. So I am naturally myself. I tell them who I am. I share a lot about who I am as a person, and I think that kind of builds that bond. They feel like I'm not a robot in the classroom, that I am a person, and that helps. That goes a long way in just building that relationship. I think so much of behavior and all that is just building that relationship piece. And once you do that, and once you kind of crack that code a little bit, they trust you and they know that you're there for them.
Do you have any questions?
Did we talk about the
NES? Mm-hmm.
We did.
Yes.
What do you mostly teach?
So I teach art of thinking. So the class is very different. I'm not sure how many districts do it, but it's really just getting students to be more thinking about their thinking. So there's a lot of metacognition. So far in the first 2 units, we've talked about problem solving, conflict resolution, perspective, bias. It's a lot of just those soft skills and getting them to be more active and critical in their thinking.
Why is that important?
I mean, that's life, right? They're going to go into the real world. A lot of our students, they have different perspectives than the larger world. And I think getting them to see that there's different perspective, that there's bias out there, how to problem solve. I do teach middle schoolers, so there's a lot of conflict involved. And just having that conversation, it just kind of creates that safe space. It's part social emotional learning and it's part just real world.